guys, welcome aboard. Well, unless you're living underneath a rock, you've probably heard that Southern California has had an earthquake. A couple of them over July 4th weekend. And so I thought we would take a quick hop and take a look and see where the actual earthquake was. So let's jump over here. And we are north of China Lake Naval Weapons Air Station here. You can just see it in the distance right down there. And this is kind of where the earthquake was. So it's kind of interesting. I'm going to show you where an actual crack formed in the earth. And if you look down here, you see this little spot right here. This is sort of like the dry lake bed here at the naval station here. Pretty much everything you're looking at here is Naval Air Station China Lake there. And there's Ridgecrest. This is this little tiny town, which you might have seen some video, of stuff falling off of shelves and all that kind of stuff. But basically the earthquake was in this whole region right through here. And an actual crack opened up right along here. And I'm going to show you a video of that. So let's just take a quick look. I'm going to show you my other screen here, and we'll show you where we're at. There we are. There's Naval Air Weapons Station, China Lake. Yes, that's what the NAWS stands for. Naval Air Weapons. Yeah. Okay. Anyway, here's the dry lake, and the earthquake kind of started off to the side here, off to the east side. And there's two large ones, a 6.4 and then a 7.1, right along the line over here. And an actual crack opened up right along here. And if we kind of scroll on up here, it went all the way up towards this other little dry lake bed right here, which they actually have an airport lake right there, it's called. Went up to the mountains here, and then quakes kind of stopped right there and then restarted out in this Owens Lake area. And they've kind of been spreading out all over the place, but that's what it looks like here. And let me show you the actual earthquakes for today. And there we are, Southern California. You can see we have many, many earthquakes. This is from the USGS, and here's the epicenter right down here. And if I zoom into it here a little bit, let's see if we can get in there. This is currently all the earthquakes in the last 24 hours. And most of them are all pretty small, but you can see this line generally that they've been occurring on right across the naval station there. Now, this is an interesting view from CNN, and this is a before and after. Now, north is to the left here, so we're kind of looking east. East is up here. And we're going to fly right over this. But if you take a look right here, you see these two little dark patches. There's one right here, and there's one right there. And then there's this kind of dry sort of area, or a little, whatever, ravine here. Well, let me show you here. So what you're going to see a crack open up along here. And then right along this spot right over here, it actually opened up even wider, and a lot of this stuff kind of caved in. So here we go. Watch the little line. There it is. See that line showing up right there? That is a new crack in the earth that showed up, and it runs all the way over to there. And then, again, watch this area right here. See that big crack right there? So yeah, right along this little white area right there, a crack opened up and continued on and sort of joined up again. And we can take a look at the whole thing. This is before, and here we go after. You can see that crack right there. Let me grab that a little bit again. There you go. So pretty neat stuff. Let's go ahead and get rid of that. Let's jump in the plane. I thought we would take the old bush plane out and take a little view of this area, and this is where that crack was right here. It kind of started out here someplace and came right around through this area here, and then continued on, or the earthquakes continued on here. So let's zoom into our plane here, and I am using some add-on scenery here for the Navy base. There we are. Look at that. We got our own hangar. Don't mind the goofy scenery. Let's jump inside here, get this thing fired up, and get on our way. Let's see here. It's been a while since I've flown the old 172 here. Let's see. Fuel pump beacon, nav lights on, mixture rich. Let's fire her up. There we go. I think we're good. Alright, let's put our taxi landing light on, the strobes on. Let's get our master avionics on. Not that we're going to need that. Now, let's see, what is the field elevation over here? It is 2,284 feet. So we're just going to eyeball it here. 2,200. There's 2,284. And there's 3. Right around there. Alright, we're good to go. Let's taxi on out of here. Actually, we're going to jump out because I don't even know where we're sitting. We will just take off this way. Come over here and get on out of here. Alright, brakes off. Let's pull out of here. We'll go by the Cobras over here. This thing is sensitive. Those big giant tires. Alright, and let me go ahead and adjust some volume over here. We're going to turn this down so it's not too loud inside the cockpit. So you can hear me going on about the earthquake here. Yeah, this is X-Plane 10 version scenery that I downloaded from the org. Thought I'd toss it in here. The runways and stuff are a little bit off, so not a big deal for what we're going to do. So I think what we're going to do, we're going to take off heading to the south. So let's go flaps, do a short field takeoff here. So we're heading west right now. We're going to turn to the south, or start heading. Oh boy, our compass is all off. Let's stop here and reset that. Okay, there we go. Let's see here. So we are between 1.5 and 1.2. The other way. 1.5 and 1.2. There we go. All right, now we're kind of heading southeast. All right, flaps are set. Let's power up. Let's get on out of here. I thought we'll scoot over the top of Ridgecrest, the town, and then circle back, and then we'll take a look at that spot where the crack opened up. I'll show you what there is to see over there. Thin my mixture here as we go a little bit. Alright, there we go. Let's get off the ground. Flaps up. Pick up some speed here. And, you know what, I'm going to bring up our in-flight map here. There we go. You can see we're going to come over Ridgecrest, and then we'll come back around and head up this way. So there's the town of Ridgecrest. Not very big, but big enough to have some damage, but mostly it's you know, it's a desert town. And yeah, back there is where our earthquake emanated from. And there's a little airport off to the side, over there somewhere. I guess they do a lot of glider activity. But yeah, so apparently the shaking was really bad right here, because like I said, there was a 6.4, and then the next day there was a 7.1. And that's definitely big, especially if you're right here. If you see some of the videos, online, you'll see you know, swimming pools sloshing around and stuff falling off of shelves. There's one cool video I saw of guy's like driveway with his 2 cars in there, and they're shaking back and forth pretty good. So you can see Ridgecrest is a pretty small town here. Alright, let's come back around. We'll keep our climb out here. And we'll start heading back over to the east side of the base. And I'll show you exactly where the earthquake was and where we saw that crack on the CNN graphic. And it's a beautiful clear day here today in the desert. Now the earthquake, they were felt all the way from, you know, LA, San Diego, all the way to Las Vegas, you know, and Phoenix. So where I live in Southern California, we did feel it. Obviously not as bad as, you know, the people down here. But it was definitely enough to, you know, you're sitting on the couch and all of a sudden there's a little shaking and the house is creaking and cracking. And this one was kind of like a rolling. Sometimes earthquakes are sort of a jolt, or if you just imagine somebody like kicking the couch you're sitting on or something. And sometimes they're more of a roll, where everything just kind of starts swaying back and forth. And that's what this one felt like in the rest of Southern California. So there's our base. Here, let's go outside here. We'll look at it this way. It's right about there. There we go. There's our base. Here's that lava field out here, and the earthquake is right along this low-lying area here. So we're going to fly right over here, and we'll come around this thing here and have a good look. But this entire area right here, from way down here all the way across here, heading right up towards the little mountains right here, just to the right of this darker lava patch. This is where that line was that I showed you, where all the earthquakes are still occurring. Let's jump in here and see how high up we're going to go. I think that's close enough. Let's speed up over here. We'll head for sort of the low-lying area over here. We'll pick up that little spot where the crack started, and I'll show you where that is. Make sure I'm going to the right spot here. Yeah, I think it was right along here. You can see this is a big, giant, dry lake bed, so not much happening here. And as a matter of fact, let's put on little tunes here for the flight. Down. And here's these 2 little spots. See these 2 right over here? So this is that first dark patch, and it's just a little bit more shrubbery or something right there, but that's where that crack started and went right down along here to this area that ended up sort of collapsing. 5,500 feet. We are VFR here. This is more about looking at the scenery and showing you where the earthquake actually took place. Yeah, right over here, this little dark patch, this is where the crack started coming right across the ground. And if you take a look, You know, do a little Google search, take a look at the videos and stuff. You know, they've got people on the ground now. They got the news crews are all over here, and they're all standing around the crack looking at it and everything. But yeah, right through here, came up this way, and this little section here is where it really cracked, and some of this kind of, I guess, collapsed in. It is interesting that the earthquake, the line, or I guess the fault line, runs right through here, right up to the mountains here. And the earthquakes kind of started to spread out to the east here, and generally now the whole area has got just a whole bunch of earthquakes all over the place now, small ones. Yeah, this whole thing, here's that little white line where all of this collapsed right through here. I guess the continued on out. I don't know if the crack continued out. I think it kind of stopped right here. And the Navy does all their little maneuvers and, you know, training, different things here. Testing, you know, weapons and stuff like that. So there's actually a little spot up here. X-Plane shows it as sort of water, but it's actually a dry lake bed right now. Here, let's pop outside and do a chase plane view here so you can take a better look at that. So that's that. Here's that first dark spot. That's where the crack emanated. Came right down along here, right to this white patch here. Cracked all through there. So there's some interesting things to see here. Big circle. At least I'm not sure what the Navy's doing there, but seem to have cleared out some of the brush here in this big circle. And yeah, we'll come up over here. I'll show you where some of the other earthquakes, basically through the whole area, but I think one of the first one was someplace in this general area. And it's kind of interesting because the earthquakes stopped right here and then started back up on the other side of this this little ridge here. And this is a bunch of cinder cones, old volcanic cinder cones. That's what this black stuff is right over here. It's all lava that has flown down here. We'll take a little scoot around here and then call it a flight here. But you can see this is the low-lying area where that crack was kind of going right down along here. And I think there's some more cracking throughout this area here. I haven't seen a lot of it. I've seen like maybe one or two pictures. And I believe this is zoom level 17, maybe 18. I don't recall on my ortho here. Fly over these cinder cones here, and then we'll land on it. We'll see. We are in the bush plane. Got some clouds popping in, giving some nice shadow effect here. Yeah, so if that earthquake had hit, well, let's put it this way, I'm in Southern California, like city, kind of like metropolitan area, about halfway between San Diego and greater Los Angeles. And so I'm about 160 miles from here, and we felt it good. You know, and like I said, we definitely felt the earth shaking and everything shaking, and the couches kind of felt like somebody was kicking your couch for like, you know, 5-10 seconds. Yeah, so here X-Plane is showing this as just putting water in here, but it's all dry right now. It does occasionally flood, apparently, you know, when you do get rains here in the desert. Take a look at this little spot here. That's actually got water on the satellite picture, you know, and it looks like there's a bunch of like connexes, you know, shipping container type things all throughout here that you know, the Navy's doing something. Now my ortho does change over, so that's why that looks nice and colorful in the background, but it's only like zoom level 14, I think. And I think because I only fly airliners over to Salt Lake City, and so I did 14, but in China Lake here, I did do a higher zoom resolution here. Yeah, and as you can see, here's the cinder cones. There's one. This is all lava that was spewing out and pouring down into the desert floor here. Pretty neat. And yeah, like I said, the earthquakes kind of stopped right here and then picked back up on the other side over here. The Owens Lake is, or something over there. It's a nice view of the cinder cones here with all the lava flow. Looks like it was spewing out this way and pouring down into the valleys. So, don't be surprised if we have more earthquakes. I guess the experts are saying that there's a almost like 100% chance of a 6.0 again hitting. Like I said, 6.4 was the first one that we felt, and then the 7.1, but they're saying there's a good chance of a 6.0 again sometime within the next week. All sorts of crazy tectonic things going on here. There you go, there's that Owens Valley, Owens Lake, whatever, right there. Pretty nice. Let's head back down this way and we'll do a touchdown here somewhere. So yeah, if we had an earthquake of 7.1, like closer to LA, there would have definitely been some damage because, like I said, the small town there, Ridgecrest, you know, they had walls collapsing, you know, like concrete walls, chimneys falling in and all that kind of thing, and had a few fires from gas lines breaking and stuff like that. Scoot down the lava flow here. See our China Lake airfield way out in the distance there. I believe that's it. Interesting looking scenery here. And over here is that little airport. What is it called? It is called, oh boy, it's got a weird name. Onikern? I can't say it. I-N-Y-O Kern. Inyo Kern. So yeah, there's the earthquake area right down through there. Alright, let's see where we're going to touch down here. I think right along here somewhere, huh? Let's start our descent down. power all the way back. We'll land right next to this lava flow here and call it a flight. I hope you enjoyed that little view. Kind of shows you exactly where the earthquake was. I know sometimes in the other parts of the country, you know, whenever there's some disaster, earthquake, fire, mudslide or something, everybody else in the rest of the country thinks that everybody in California is on fire, covered in mud, or has fallen into a giant crevice. But you can see that this is way out in the sticks. It's like 150 miles from, say, downtown LA. Not that we didn't feel it, but we got lucky that it was out here. But the San Andreas, which is farther to the east, closer to LA, I don't know. There's been a bunch of little quakes that have been popping up around on the San Andreas, which is normal, but it's a little bit more than normal now. I think we're going to land right on this little road here. Get some flaps in here. There's our lava flow. We don't want to land on the lava flow, do we? Alright, full flaps. We'll try to avoid the palm trees. Ooh, rough one. Alright, don't hit the palm tree. Alright guys, I hope you enjoyed that. A little tour of the earthquake location here in Southern California. Until next time guys, take care.